They both did it, and they're going to face each other. How important is this matchup for you in this game?
So in Korea, in StarCraft, we actually have a term for it. It's called, if you win the first major in your first ever try, you're considered a royal roader. You
Royal
walk that,
roader.
Yeah,
Okay.
you
I
walk
like
that
it.
path that no one else has walked. You are a royal roader. It's like the highest distinction.
There's
it means
not
like,
many.
Yeah, it means like one of one. You were the best at the time. It's such an impressive feat too, because oftentimes like at TIs you want that veteran experience. And here, both of these guys were able to win it in their first go. It almost warps your perception. It's like, that was easy. You just kind of stroll in, you win, you're like, okay, I guess that was no big deal. And I feel like that's stuck with them since. Especially for a guy like Sumail, I think that gave him unheard of confidence. And I feel like for Thompson, it's done something similar. Because the way that this guy plays, I mean, he's completely fearless.
Yeah, and it was how dominant they did it too, right? Like Sumail was definitely the best player at that TI, and Thompson, a lot of people say, I mean, a lot of people want to go with Anna, but Thompson very rarely like played poorly in that. It was insane. They didn't just get carried.
So somebody, Matama Man said recently, he said, Thompson is probably like the player that might lose his lane the most, but he's also like the player that'll just win you the game the most as well.
Yep.
Like he does it all, he does all the little things correctly. Like he plays the game the right way. His laning mechanics are like whatever because he plays very weird heroes that often lose his lane, but he'll make the game-winning plays.
That seems highly reminiscent of the critiques people had about Ana's early era into OG. Whenever they were winning majors and stuff like that, they were just like, Ana just keeps losing his lane, but somehow they keep winning, and that's sometimes what a team takes. Clearly, No-Tail and Seb know how to take advantage of a player who sacrifices themselves like that.
Yeah, you want to know about early OG days? Crit was on there.
Yeah, that's true.
He went to TI with OG, didn't do too hot, and of course he jumped ship. Went to EG.
The early one, yeah.
The
got
early
the ship
one.
early, bailed. He's like,
Yeah.
we'll wait for the rest of them to come on over, but, I'll be here warm in the seats.
Yeah, and he's gone through a crazy transformation, coming out from captain and then focusing again on the position 4 role Tsunami.
He had tanked quite a bit of abuse early in his captaining days as well. Every single time that EG would show up to TI, obviously the bar was set at PPD captaining, and you're like, well, if he's not as good as PPD, then what's EG doing? But he kind of came into his own. He has relinquished the captaining role, which I think was the best for him, especially with Fly coming in. That dude is far more accomplished, and it allows Crit to focusing on just one thing, which is just being a beast of a 4 position.
Now, when we talk about OG, and when you see them play, you've watched all the documentaries, there's one overarching factor. It is confidence and comfort, and they are just very happy to just play the game. Friendship, sure. You want to go there? That's fine. But it feels like that this TI so far, that has been the major factor in terms of win and lose. Sure, the Dota, the Dota we see is great, but I feel like that we kind of see, the auto system kick in, and then everything else, like, you gotta deal with the pressure.
Yeah, it's tough. I think OG, it's just crazy. Like, after win, after loss, you can just continuously see it doesn't matter to them, and they don't lose very much, so it's hard to see them after a loss. But it was funny. I actually took off my headset whenever they introduced the players to see, like, who the Chinese crowd really likes. And honestly, Seb was, I could not believe it.
They
Seb
were
actually
all
probably at the
yelling
highest.
Seb.
Yeah, they were.
I'm not sure how much that chat we
Voice lines transcend
there was a lot of
languages.
clapping. It was pretty crazy. I was surprised. I thought it would be like No-Tail. And it's interesting because the 4 positions actually had the least amount of claps on both teams. I don't know what that says. Maybe they like their 4 positions more, but it was pretty crazy.
These teams are similar in the sense that you got Arteezy and you got Ana, both being big cornerstones of the squad. And then you got Jarex and Crit are kind of like, I know that they're the support, but they're also like the supporting role. They're not being as flashy as some other 4 supports. And we know that they can do it. It's just that the way they're playing right now, it might not be the case.
Yeah, I think some of the heroes are like, where's Earth Spirit? They're both known for their Earth Spirit, and you just don't really see it that much anymore. I wouldn't be surprised. It might get pulled out in this series, honestly.
Good indeed. What do you think is most important for this series, Tsunami?
I think that as easy of an answer it is, what are you going to do about IO? What are you going to do about this crap?
Yeah.
No one has a solution for OG's core.
I have a solution.
Tell me.
What's that?
You ban it.
Oh,
I think that's
Wow.
unprecedented. Shiver, get in the booth right now.
I mean, if we're being serious, I think you have to ban the IO and the Mag, and you have to pick your poison between something like an Enchant and a Chen. Like that's just how it is to me. You can't give them those two heroes.
Well, how
It's absolutely
stubborn
crazy.
of a captain do you think Fly is? Because a lot of people are letting Game 1 go by. We're done with the BO1s. We're
Yeah.
in BO3 territory now. You can afford to let maybe one game slip by.
I think you don't risk it. Will, what do you think?
I feel like you definitely don't, because I think a lot of this game is going to come down to like the mental fortitude of both teams, because there is so much history behind both of them. I could
sure.
easily see a team losing game 1, having a hard time recovering, trying to do too much to recover into game 2. So I feel like getting out of the gate early on and just trying to get a quick win is sort of the goal here.
Yep. And it's the mental aspect you talk of as well. And we know that OG actually, this TI, they have incorporated an extra member to their team.
Yes.
They now have the professional esports psychologist that formerly helped Astralis. And for people that don't follow Astralis is a CSGO team, and they struggled winning for a very long time, and then they incorporated this psychologist and they won their first major. Just like that. Just getting into the right mindset. It's so important.
Yeah, I think Astralis might need to get that coach back because they have been on the crumble lately. But yeah,
Talking
no,
about
it definitely
Blastralis?
works. Yeah, and it's crazy. They really are just one game away, one series away from that top 3,
Yeah.
possibly a full-on rematch against LGD.
How crazy is it? What are the odds that OG has the near exact
It's
path
true.
in the upper bracket
Deja vu.
17-1.
as 2018?
like that.
I've been in
Yeah,
this
it's,
place.
it's not that crazy.
Yeah.
What? It's pretty crazy.
No, it's a little bit, especially because most of the teams, right? This feels like the first TI where teams that even did pretty poorly just stayed together. They're like, you know what? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Reddit complains we keep shoveling teams. Let's show them one more year and let's see what happens. Obviously, for a team like VP, didn't go too well, but now you have the EG and even OG, even though they had ILTW for a bit, but now you're back with your full roster and let's go.
Let's go indeed. And for OG, of course, we remember the group stages, and I'm sure EG remembers the group stages too. Unfortunately for them, they started out pretty weak, and in the second day, the first matchup for them was against OG. It was the OG EG special, and we were having big, expectations of this series, and then it was a bit of a trash-in.
Yeah, it was actually funny. I was watching Boba and Sox, the coach, were just both watching on the same TV. And anytime like EG would start making a big play, Boba just start clapping nonstop, and then the fight would just straight up turn around. And I looked over, and of course the OG coach did the exact same thing, just started clapping, and they're literally right next to each other.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm getting out of here.
But talk to me about these two coaches, because they are so different. We didn't have Soxka with OG previous TI. He's with the team now. He's been with the team for a little while. What do you think is the main difference? We have obviously Bulba drafting Tsunami, but Soxka not so much.
Yeah, I think Bulba is more of like the judge, jury, executioner of the EG drafts. I don't really think that. Obviously, he talks with Fly and stuff like that, but the way that it seems like he sits in the pod, he puts on the headset, he's clicking the buttons a lot of the times. Whereas with Soxa, obviously he has Seb in the background, and Seb had a long storied history of being OG's coach. So it's more collaborative on the OG side, at least based on what we see outside, but we may be able to see Casey and talk to her for a little more insight.
All right, well, I know you want to make a point, Will, but you got to wait with it. You got to wait with it until after the first game of this blockbuster of a series. Let's get in to the draft.
OG versus Evil Geniuses. Game 1.
And that's the match we've been waiting for all day, the Evil Geniuses versus OG series. We have a lot in store for us. It's kind of a rematch of last year, but I feel like the paths have kind of swapped. OG had a really confident group stage this year. Last year they faltered. EG's on that pathway a little bit in some ways. What do you guys expect to see here?
Fun.
Just fun match?
Fun, lots of battling. I think could be a really fast game, or it could be a really long one. I don't think the middle ground is really what I'm looking at here for this one. I think it could just go really, really one-sided on either one of those fronts.
I mean, OG has definitely done that sometimes recently.
Yeah.
In their last series, had some crazy 20-minute wins with abusing the IO strat, but not this game. IO getting banned finally.
I think EG, I've looked at the majority of their games, and they have much longer games. I mean, OG's kind of just been steamrolling a lot, right, because they had such a successful group stage. But yeah, that's the one thing I'm concerned for EG. It's just getting caught caught off guard a little bit here and just getting like kind of run over. So I think that they want to be able to take the fight to OG, because OG is going to look to battle a lot, especially from watching how EG's been playing a lot of the farm game.
I think right now EG expected OG to ban SD, but they left it open. So I think they're talking about how they're going to approach it. Because SD has been the hero of the tournament, and EG has picked it a lot.
And banning Naga Siren in the first phase is basically unseen right now, so they're just clearly trying to let a lot of tier 1 heroes through. Is that what you're thinking?
I think they're just targeting EG's like top heroes, right? They love their Naga Siren on Arteezy, and they absolutely love Sumail's Leshrac. So they're just like, okay, these are super comfort heroes for them. Get rid of them.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too.
So unlike the LGD VGG game series, the 3 supports left: Elder Titan, Ogre Magi, Shadow Demon.
Are they going to take the SD?
I think that's the best support right now.
It's like SD and Enchantress are in the pool, right? SD, Enchantress,
point.
and Chen if you want to go for that.
Oh yeah, Enchantress has been very like contested between these two teams.
It's definitely something OG likes as well. They would have picked it if it got through.
Yeah, definitely. I think Notail is the only position 5 that's comfortable on the Enchantress. Usually when it's run by 5s on the other teams, they're playing it because they have to be playing it. Like it got too countered to be put it on a position 3, so that's why it's played as a position 5. But I think whenever I see Notail on position 5 Enchantress, he looks so comfortable on that hero.
So there are ways to beat in lane. It's typically a super strong laner. It can pressure cores. That's a little bit of a turn here in OG. They've got something up their sleeve planned here. Like, this is like not at all what we expected to see based on the drafts earlier today.
I think I saw them run this one. I can't remember if I was casting the game, and I think these were the 2 heroes. I think they dual laned these, and it was Seb playing the tree, Jarax playing this Grimstroke, and they put so much pressure on the safe lane. They would just ink swell this tree and protector. We just beat on them, and then Grimstroke would sit in the back and throw constant nukes, and it was actually pretty insane how much they were able to do. And it's a lot of magic damage right off the bat from a Grimstroke, and you also have a hero that can prevent Enchantress from getting her heal off. Not only with the stun, but with that Phantom that can be really obnoxious. If you don't get your heal instantly as Ench, sometimes you can get burst. And
it can be really nice as well if you have Overgrowth. You can just essentially lock her in position, land some other stuns potentially, prevent her from breaking the silence. Earthspit, great catch hero. Definitely going to be helpful for setting up kills. Good at punishing and catching heroes like Tree as well.
Yeah, one of Crit's signature heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I really like the OG2 picks against the Enchantress. It might not have damage, but I think it comes from the damage comes from Thompson's and Anna's heroes. So the control is definitely there with the Tree and the Grimstroke.
I've seen them run a lot of Grimstroke with the, I think they were the first ones that I want to say at the MDL Major when they were doing Grimstroke with Phantom Assassin. And I know they had Magnus in a couple of those games, so we might not see that happen, but it's great versus the Enchantress. We've seen the rise of the PA as well, and just the combo. The Ink Swell with that quick Phantom Strike to get on top of targets is definitely a devastating one that I've seen them run a lot. They really do like that combo.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. Another team earlier in the main stage used Juggernaut, I think, in the safe lane as well against her. That can work well, because at least then you can spin to guarantee damage, possibly kill her. But it's difficult to lane against her. We see a lot of carries that'll just kind of zone out of the lane at some point when you just kind of let her take the tower. But potentially OG could defend that if they, depending on how much tree armor they get. Since she doesn't push very well, tree armor, a little bit of defense there, it could prevent her from snowballing the lane as hard.
Wondering if EG wants something like I think they want at least some strong 5-position hero. What I'm looking at is actually, especially after that last game, even though it's FY playing it, Jakiro. Yeah. I think that's one of the heroes we see played a lot versus Tree and Protector because you have this really slow windup and it just secures the lane because Tree can sometimes just crush your safe lane. So I think that could be a possibility, and I think it's a good hero that works really well for EG with the Earth Spirit in combination.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Attack speed slows against anybody that attacks slow, and the other thing, tons of damage over time. It basically nullifies his armor if he ever wants to use it to save people mid-game. Batrider ban a potential matchup counter against Enchantress, or just good for the lineup here? What do you guys think?
I think they were maybe thinking about a position 5 Batrider from Notail because it provides it's very strong in lane, the position 5 Batrider.
It's true, they have ran it quite a few times in the group stage, if I remember now.
Interesting.
Yeah, Notail is very good at these like weird heroes that are not traditional position 5s, but it's very good at the laning.
It's always surprising too. I think one thing that OG does is they basically forge their own path. I feel like that's one of their keys to success. You could maybe say it's like comfort, they're happy, that kind of a thing. But I think it's also that even at tournaments that they lose, they're always doing their own thing. They're playing heroes in ways that only they're confident doing. Everyone else tries to adapt to the meta. feels like OG is almost always trying to set it. And I think that's one huge advantage they have coming into TI.
I totally agree. I mean, right last year when they're just like busting out off-lane Magnus, no one else is really picking that at all. Off-lane Tree is the same exact kind of style. Topson playing all these like kind of bizarre heroes that he just is really comfortable on in the mid lane.
And terrible mid matchups too,
Yeah.
where like every other team's like, oh, we can't have a bad mid matchup. He'll lose the lane, then go create space, force people to rotate against him, all to protect his team.
I had a feeling this one was coming in the third pick. Like we were saying, that Grimstroke PA combo, they just love it, and it's such a good matchup versus the Enchantress, and it's going to give you that late game insurance immediately right off the bat. So this, yeah, they love this combo. I've seen them do it so many times. Like I was saying, at MDL Major, we saw it do it like 3 times before.
Do you think it's good enough without Mag, though? Mag banned in first phase. We saw the PA Mag earlier today with a different series, even against the Enchantress, but PA's going to have to get her own farm. Or is she just going to do OG things and just fight constantly?
I think fighting constantly, I think they could still get a steroid, right? The Ogre is still in the pool, right? If they do want to go for that, that is a good way to protect the lane.
I mean, it certainly can help, but I just don't think that Bloodlust by itself is going to be enough, personally.
Okay.
Because you're still going to have to buy a farming item no matter what, right? Like, yes, you could go like Deso or something like that and hit creeps at decent speeds, but if you're jungling for long periods of time, not that OG does that much, I guess, I just feel like it'll be a detriment. Although the heroes that they're up against, all very low armor, so it's actually looking like a pretty solid PA game right now, at least once she gets BKB. CM just really strong lane support for EG. You can secure creep waves really easily. The downside, though, is that I think she's going to get run down. I do not want to play a CM if I'm against a Grimstroke tree lane. That sounds awful to me.
Sounds really painful.
And even against a Phantom Assassin, if I'm laning against that and I make a mistake or get out of position, I feel like it's going to be... I'm a vulnerability. I'm much slower than them. They're going to be able to get on top of me. But the bright side is much more mana for all of the EG heroes, and that should make their laning stages go better.
And let them at least put pressure on. That's what that's what I'm seeing, at least when I see the Earth Spirit and the Enchantress picked up. It's looking like EG does not want to just like sit back and farm in this game. They want to be at least posing a threat.
Usually what OG is very good at, like even though they pick these weird heroes, they all like aim the same thing. They want to create chaos and bring the other team into their tempo. And I think with EG's picks, I think they want to match that aggression and the tempo. All these heroes can fight really early on, the Enchantress or Spirit CM so far.
Yeah, totally agree with that there. The Earthshaker picked up, so now, I mean, their lineup is looking pretty flexible. Just which one they do want to prioritize. It's more likely going to be, I mean, I guess it's probably going to be the Jerax Earthshaker, right? And it's going to be no tail on the Grimstroke.
I would assume so.
So they're going to do that dual lane, I guess, with the PA, or maybe run some like aggro kind of lane with the tree, Grimstroke in the PA, and or with the Earthshaker, Grimstroke, and PA.
Yeah. Yeah, it could definitely be a couple different things. I assume it's going to be No Tail playing the Grimstroke. We saw him do that the other day as well.
Yeah.
He's going to be the counter lane pusher. Earthshaker's also going to be able to help out with that. So if they can counteract lane push that EG's pushing out, that'll be really nice.
They picked the TB into the Shaker, but they're more so trying to match the PA, right? Just that high armor carry that doesn't have to worry too much about a PA just jumping you and bursting you down.
It's also tower pusher too, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about TB right now, Febby?
I was 50-50 on this hero until today. I think LGD beat VG game 1 with TV, and they look pretty solid. I was thinking like this hero is too slow for this meta, yada yada yada, but it didn't seem like it. I think what EG wants to do is like a 4+1. Sumer is gonna be on this like hyper aggressive mid that can fight with them early on with the rest of EG's heroes, while RTD just sits back and farm up. It's gonna be a battle of TB versus PA. I would be kind of surprised if PA doesn't go Battlefield because he's gonna fall off if he doesn't.
That could make it a little bit harder for OG to fight in the early mid.
Ooh. I wonder what the hero for. I mean, I feel like Topson's gonna want something that provides a lot of magic damage and even potentially push. Right now, I'm actually looking at the Pugna. I know he's a huge fan of the hero. I believe the last time they met up, he also was playing the Pugna. It's very good versus TB, great versus Enchantress as well. Can definitely be something to set the pace and put pressure on, and it's, it's a Topson.
What about Zeus? Zeus looks really good here too.
Zeus? I've been wanting Zeus, but we haven't gotten too many, man. I've been waiting for it.
I mean, if we're gonna get it, it's gonna be a Topson Zeus, right?
That's actually very true.
Against TV, CM, all these like weak heroes.
I think he got banned out in their last series as well as the 5th ban, or 6th ban.
I do wanna like point out that Sumer is gonna be having a rough game because Thompson's gonna be counter picking this, whatever
once
it
again.
is.
They banned it
This
again.
just gets taken out.
Yeah.
Pugna looks.
Pugna looks really good now, yeah.
EG was definitely missing lane push. Earth Spirit can't push lanes very well. Enchantress can't push lanes almost at all. CM can, and TB can a little bit, but they definitely need at least another hero that could also facilitate that. And it's more nukes, more stuns that'll help them kill the PA in the early mid game.
Oh, they're going to go for the Thompson Invoker instead. Also, a great way of being able to run around the map and make space, right? I think that's his plan. Just he's going to be the Chaos Maker. He doesn't care. I lose my lane, I don't care. I'm going to move around the map and just try to shut down RTZ on this Terrorblade and just constant aggression to make Ana space. I mean, that's the story of Thompson in a nutshell.
I think it's a great hero to buff the PA slightly towards PA favor against the PA versus TB.
Okay.
What aspect of it gives him the favor? Is it just like
The
map
alacrity.
creation?
Alacrity.
Alacrity?
Yeah.
All right, well, that is the draft. But before we jump into the game, we're going to have the last word with Gunnar.
So I'm a mid laner. I'm going to focus on the mid lane. Both of these teams need their mid laners to have a good game. EG with Sumail, he's always their tempo setter. He's going to carry the game in the first 25 minutes to give Artur some space, Arteezy on his TB. He's going to farm up the jungle. Sumail's going to be rotating with his team, running around, pressuring lanes, and taking towers. On the side of OG, Thompson is usually the tempo creator. He's going to win his lane, and he's always going to rotate first. And he's not going to worry about having to carry as he has N on his back. Both these teams... Both these teams, they have the two Earth Spirit gods. They have Crit and Jerax. EG having Crit with the Earth Spirit in this game. I think they're going to have the ability to kind of rotate around early. He's going to kind of pressure the mid lane, so I'm going to be a little scared for this Invoker on Thompson to be pressured by this Earth Spirit. He's going to maybe get a little pressure. His tower might be killed early with the Siege Wagon at 5 minutes. I think there's going to be a lot of fights. The TB and the PA are both going to be farming. I think this might game go a little late. There's going to be a lot of big fights. I think our two casters, Tobuon and Cinderin, are going to be the two bigger carries of this game.
Ah, isn't that so nice? You know, we've got our
I'll
game.
carry you.
Oh, thanks, Sin.
Okay,
That's Sin.
no problem.
I'm small. I'm light now. I'm actually I'm backpackable.
Yeah, I've gained weight, so that's perfect. There you go.
Great transference. We've got our game faces on, Sin. We're ready to go right now. OG, they're the same. And of course, you start with an OG draft. You think everything's going to be normal, but I got a thing to break to everyone at home. That is not a support ES. That is a 3-position ES. Played by Seb, and Notel will move on to the Tree and Protector, just for a little bit of interesting spice because OG can never conform.
Not only that, exactly. We were talking about, oh, is it going to be a Seb Treant or is it going to be a Seb Shaker and a Jerax Treant? But they swapped it out completely, putting Notel on a hard 5 Treant. They think that this Grimstroke being position 4 can have a huge impact on the game. And a possible reason for that could be the Grimstroke Eggs in this game being a really, really powerful Aghanims against Terrorblade. Creating that illusion when he's used Metamorphosis, it can deal serious damage. And something we've seen out of OG in this tournament so far is they're really good at doing quirky mechanical stuff, like having these weird, creative new ideas where you use new stuff that's in the game. The IO Aghanims is new, the Grimstroke Aghanims is new. So I could definitely see that being the line of thought for them here. On EG's side, though, I love what Gunnar said. Keep an eye on mid. That is where stuff is going to be happening.
Thompson's already starting up. Just in case you didn't know, EG, look into my eyes. What do you see?
Well, they plant the flags, but it didn't scare OG or EG away from getting 2 runes at least. So I guess they planted the flags on one side only.
I was actually waiting for them to do what they did in the first series. We actually got cast on this main stage. It's like, oh, this would be fantastic. OG, that game was done. But they started off with like 4 flags, all planted around 1 bounty rune. But let's have a check of our lane. So as we had now a quick 1 minute, Thompson Invoker, he's going the course to begin with. We'll see how he transitions. The battle against Vale, it gives us an aggressive lane up on the top. Ana and Notel, they've been dual laning together for absolutely ever, but EG, they bring 3. If the first 2 doesn't succeed, you bring everybody. Pushing Ana back under the tower with a Metamorphosis damage. He's actually going to have enough. Ana will die on top lane. Arteezy spills the first blood. You want to send a message, that's a good way to do it if you're EG.
And this is one of the biggest benefits of Enchantress as a hero, is that you can leave her alone in the start against this lane. I don't see them killing her down here with Seb and Jerax, but at the same time, Jerax can't leave because Seb will lose the lane. So EG, with the right read on how to get the lanes to begin with, could get them off to a very nice start here.
And with the Sentry Ward down, how does Jerax coming close? He's going to have to work with them. Ana being initiated on once again. Arteezy still got a little bit more time to get that range damage in, but now loses attention to Notel. Consumables are going to be the order of the day for OG, while in mid, Thompson, he's so low, battling against the metal, the cold snap will push him back.
They have rotated Jarek's top, but what this will do now is that S4 will have almost a full level advantage against Seb bottom early on, or at least a decent one. And once Enchantress gets level 6, this lane is not inhabitable for Earthshaker anymore. So, OG, this top lane, when you rotate like this, you have to win it, or you need to at least ensure that Ana feels somewhat happy up here.
Yeah, actually getting some CS would be a nice way to move forward. I'm loving Thompson and Samael, just like, come and fight me. I'm not even getting us out. There's not even one coming out. Samael able to hit these back-to-back stuns, missing uphill 2 times. Thompson, he'll get back under the tower. He's juggling the ball, but he'll get off. Oh, thank you, Ice Rock.
I was going to say Gaben, but they're the same person, so.
Everyone's Ice Rock in their hearts.
This is a huge start for EG, honestly. Good cold snap from Thompson will at least stop half of the regen rune. Wants to high-five with Samael. Samael will high-five him, so at least there's some friendship in the mid lane.
Samael will bring his bottle in.
Never mind, no friendship mid lane.
Here comes the ES, roll in from Crit, the kick, a little bit off target, and Thompson just sends them up in the air for a quick moment.
So Samael is winning mid for sure. Enchantress S4 is winning bottom for sure. And this top lane is currently RTZ far ahead because of that first blood advantage as well. So fair to say right now that EG are ahead in all 3 lanes. And no tell is going to be from OG. They're trying to get in on Fly. Lovely new cosmetic. I love this new aura.
What is this? It's just like I got a bubble. I got a frost bubble.
When you skill up Arcane Aura, every time it levels up, all of your allies have like an animation for a short time.
Oh, rolling boulder in from Crit, well off the target. And as OG try and gets a little bit of space. Nortel just stunning up Crit for the moment. Good protection.
So the roll misses, but Arteezy is the one having the best time regardless. Even if these spells miss a little bit, OG seem unable to make their own aggressive moves, and Arteezy is just denying creep after creep. PA, what's her CS right now? 15 for 3. It's actually pretty good from Ana so far in this lane.
I'm loving watching this mid lane. I can't even take my eyes off it. I should be looking at the top lane because there's a tri-lane up there, but Thompson's just living on either a prayer or quarter HP. Maybe both. He just refuses to move back out of this lane or bring us out. He keeps getting clipped.
Oh,
an illusion rune for him, but Crit got a rolling boulder in. Thompson sidesteps him quickly. Space can be created. He's got cold snap and tornado. Able to connect on both Samael, but the Flame is able to reach up 2 levels to reach Thompson on Cloud 9.
And this is how this mid lane is going to be. Samael and Thompson will be trading non-stop. Invoker wants to trade so he can make use of the Quas orbs, and Samael wants to trade because he can kill with an ally. And that's the second kill here in mid now. Samael off to a really hot start.
You know, I've thought that before, and then Thompson's Monkey King kicked in, so
it's a bit different.
It's definitely a different style of game. There was definitely an Io and Magnus in that series as well. But I also just kind of want to think about another lane. Number 1 on the CS right now is actually Seb. He's been running this bottle on the bottom lane. He's going to try and control both the 5-minute bounty runes. S4 does not want to let that happen. So Seb will back off, and you see Crit already rotating over. And S4, it looks like he wants to try and contest.
Oh, okay. Seb didn't want to fight for it. So that's 3 runes for EG. He was respecting the rotation out of Crit. Saw him on that Observer ward in the bottom area that Crit was coming. So his TP at least secures that rune. And now I'm really curious what Seb's going to do here. It's actually the thing I'm most curious about in the game now, because from my experience, this lane will be completely unplayable for Shaker once Enchantress is level 6. The only thing he can really do is take creeps with Fissure. Every time you try to melee a creep with Enchant Totem, you will take 2 or 3 impetuses your way, and it's just not feasible in the long run. So what is he going to do? He's pulling the wave for now a little bit.
I look towards mid, rolling boulder in, Laguna Blade is up for Samael. It's the first Fire Striker 8, EMP Tornado. Samael's going to lose a lot of mana. The cold snap, he's still just got enough to get into Thompson with the living armor. It has arrived, and Thompson will survive the first Laguna of this game.
It's very unusual that you see a Treant not skill living.
Oh, Fly, he's back again. He may have survived Laguna, but can he survive everything else? Jirax will arrive. It's a good stroke into the stun. Now Crit's caught on the wrong side of the tracks. Nice turnaround for OG. Took 6 minutes, but now they're on the board, off the mark. 1-3.
And Notel, he's ready to fight Fly on the rune, but Notel doesn't have Leech Seed. He's 1-0-2 build, extremely defensive Treant build, not getting even that one skill point to help in the lane, but focusing on how much can I help the other lanes with that living armor.
Do you actually think the living armor build-up is also... Oh, hello, rolling boulder down towards the bottom lane. Jirax under attack. Like, cram between S4 as well as Crypt. But we saw OG when they played the Treant before. They're always looking to repair their towers. How does Arteezy actually take these towers if you level up Living Armor very early on? How hard do you have to commit as a Terrorblade to actually bring down the tower?
That's actually part of the brilliance in this Terrorblade pick, because first, the obvious thing is that it's good against the PA, right? You have high armor, so you're good against these hard-hitting physical attacks, but the second part, Terrorblade is a really good hero at forcing down towers from half or full to 0. So he can deal with it if they group up and make a team move. It's one of the best heroes against Treant Protector in this early stage of the game as a carry. You can't really ask for anything better than that.
Yeah. But because they will still lose that
mid.
They will still lose that tier 1 tower on bottom lane.
Fly is going to plant some enemy in mid. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know those characters, so I can't tell you what they are. But there's probably some deep meaning to this. Jerax.
He's going
running
to
into fly. Okay, see ya. They're both backing off.
Nothing to be had here apart from Jerax potentially killing the courier on the way back. Yeah, but with the tier 1 tower dropping, S4 was just able to force the issue. N0tail's watching Arteezy rotate over, but he's burned a large portion of this Metamorphosis.
That's just such an early Midas for S4. He's going to be rich this game. 730 Midas with Boots and Basilius. It's really, really good times for S4. And you look at the CS chart, all top 3 sitting on that EG side, and the Shaker, who was doing well in the start, I think quite a bit of his CS is probably jungle creeps, and now this, again, this bottom lane, is he going to be able to farm here? Well, S4 is moving, so for now he is.
EMP Tornado just pushing Smell back a little bit further.
Absolutely perfect.
But Ana is still doing well. And this top lane, we know how important it is for OG to give Ana a good game. And his game looks solid right now. He's sitting on the 50 CS, minute 8. Same as the Terrorblade. They're both level 6. So both of these heroes are having a good game and are happy.
The only downside for Ana is he doesn't have like that Empower buff up he's used to, so he's having to build into the Battle Fury on the Phantom Assassin just to still keep finding that farm rate. Jerax is hoping for something on bottom lane. Seb's got a lot of damage to work with.